How's everyone doing? Today I'll be reviewing the 2012 horror comedy movie Girls Gone Dead. And obviously it's a play on Girls Gone Wild, which is a big part of this movie as well. In the movie they have a group where it's basically parodying Girls Gone Wild. They have Beetlejuice right there, who has the camera on his head. You know, he's basically looking at the boobs and the butts and everything like that from his point of view. And you have Jerry the King Lawler in here as well. He plays the sheriff, and Ron Jeremy makes an appearance as well. And Ron Jeremy is just always entertaining in these kinds of movies. And Linnea Quigley was in here for a short period as well. And you have Sean C. Phillips, Cool Duder, who's in here as well. And this is directed by Aaron T. Wells and Michael Hoffman Jr. And Michael Hoffman Jr. also directed Spring Break Massacre. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard about this and saw like clips for it, I thought this was going to be awful. I was not really looking forward to it, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a fair chance and check it out. And I'm really glad that I did, because I thought this was a very entertaining horror comedy movie. It definitely kind of parodies the 80s kind of slashers, kind of has that feel to it as well. Some great comedic moments in here, and it's basically about this lead actress right here. She comes from a strict religious family. Her mother's really religiously overbearing, and she has a ex-boyfriend who's just all about, you know, trying to get her back, and basically, you know, really religious as well. And she's a virgin as well, so, you know, that all plays into that theme, which is, you know, popularized in the 80s slashers as well. And she keeps having these nightmares about, you know, religious themes and stuff like that, and just being, you know, punished for her sins and things like that, which is obviously being, you know, crammed down from the way she was raised with the religious overbearing mother, and the, you know, the whole aspect of that. So she gets together with a group of her friends who are all ex-cheerleaders, and it's their first year of college, and it's spring break, so they want to party it up. They end up going to this nice house, and you know, they're all alone essentially in the house, and, you know, they start noticing weird things happening. And of course, you know, they get rid of their cell phones. They're like, oh, you know, this is going to be a weekend with just the girls. Let's not have any interruptions, no texting or twittering or anything like that, no phone calls. So they, you know, they put all the phones away, and they go out to this bar because the one girl's father said, oh, this bar is going to be really fun. And they go there. It's like all older people, and it's like nobody there. And then they run into a group of guys who are, you know, going to go down to the spring break where they're having this big party, and they're going to have the girls, not Girls Gone Wild, but, you know, their version of Girls Gone Wild there. And you know, they're trying to get them to go there with them and stuff like that, but they're going to hang out with them the next night. And so, you know, they meet up with them. And basically there's a killer with a medieval war hammer and battle axe killing people. And there's some great kills in here. Some people getting their heads chopped off, and that was actually one of the funnier scenes, actually. And so there's lots of good kills in here, some good gore, and of course you have some nudity as well. It's an entertaining blood and boobs B-movie. And you can see right there some of the gore and stuff like that. Basically, they're staying in this one girl's house who, you know, it was recommended that from her father that they stay there, and, you know, it's a fun town, he says, but it turns out that it was a retirement village, essentially a retirement area. I think it's called like Manatee Creek, and so that was very entertaining. And then the bar that he suggests is basically, you know, a bunch of older people there, and nobody ever goes there. So he's basically just, you know, trying to get his daughter and all her friends, you know, not to go too crazy and try to keep it contained. And this is down in coastal Florida. Instead of going to Daytona Beach, they're in Manatee Creek, which is like this retirement area. And they go to this beach at one point as well, and it's, you know, all for older people and stuff like that, and which is another entertaining scene in this one. But that doesn't stop these girls from having a fun time. The guys that they met before, you know, they go back and have a party with at their place, and there's lots of drinking and, you know, having fun in the pool, and topless stuff going on, lots of nudity, fair amount of nudity in here as well. The girls are attractive, and there's some nudity, and there's some good blood and gore and special effects, and some very funny scenes as well, some great comedic aspects to it. So basically there's this killer in medieval garb, and he's basically killing all kinds of people, and, you know, he's got the old style medieval war hammer and battle axe, and basically the girls have to, you know, fight to survive. Very straightforward throwback to like the 80s slashers, but has more of a comedic elements going on in it as well. And of course, you know, you have the big reveal of who the killer is, which is, you know, it's predictable. It's very, you know, it's straightforward, you know, slasher comedy movie. And of course there's a twist at the end, which is also predictable, but it happens in a fun manner, and the way that, you know, plays out is actually very entertaining. I think it's very self-aware, and this was a lot better than I was expecting. I think if you enjoy, you know, throwback 80s slashers and horror comedy movies, I think you'll really appreciate Girls Gone Dead. Way better than I was expecting. Some very entertaining moments, some good gore, some good kills, hilarious kills, and, you know, obviously there's some nudity in here as well. And there's a scene at the end with Jerry the King Lawler, who's, you know, he's the sheriff, which is a hilarious scene, just great moment for him in this movie. I definitely want to see more movies with Jerry the King Lawler in as well, especially horror movies. I think he did really well in this one. And this is released from E1 Entertainment. I'll go ahead and show you the inside. There's the disc artwork right there. And behind there, there's some artwork of one of the girls, and then here's an advertisement for some Elvira movies and some more E1 related horror movies right there. And I'll go ahead and show you this. There's no nudity, it's all covered up. But there you go, one of the actresses who's on the front cover right there. Very nice. Some beautiful girls in here. I think they all played their roles very well. There was, you know, the stereotypical bitchy girl, the stereotypical ditzy girl, you know, the jerk guys. It's very, you know, and then you have the virgin, and it works really well. I think all the characters did really well. And they're supposed to, you know, they're supposed to hate these people, the bitchy girl. You're supposed to think the one girl's dumb. And, you know, you may not like that, but that's what they're supposed to do. That's, you know, they're doing their jobs well, essentially. And this is the unrated and exposed edition. And the tagline is, just when you thought it was safe to go topless. Very nice. So the kind of like a play on the Jaws, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. And there's a good amount of special features in here as well. Over 90 minutes of bonus material, behind the scenes, Beetlejuice, there's Slug and Guts, making of The Girls Gone Dead, music videos featuring Amber Pacific, A Day to Remember, Hawthorne Heights, and more. 3 Crazy Girls Unlimited commercial spots, deleted scenes, 7 deleted and extended scenes, blooper reel, interviews with Jerry the King Lawler, and heavy metal legend Nico McBrain, who's in here for a little bit as well, and audio commentary with the director and crew. Very fun and enjoyable, way better than I was expecting. Definitely has that old school slasher throwback feel to it with lots of great comedic moments in here as well. And it's definitely a fun ride, and I think you'll really appreciate it if you like low budget horror movies and horror comedy movies and 80s slasher sleaze type movies. Now, if those things don't interest you, you probably won't like Girls Gone Dead, but if those things do interest you, this will probably be right up your alley. I give Girls Gone Dead an 8 out of 10 stars. It was just a lot of fun. You know what to expect with these kinds of movies, and it delivers big time. Some great kills. It's basically, you know, it's a blood and boobs B-movie, and it's a lot of fun. And if you've seen Girls Gone Dead, definitely let me know what you think of it. Leave me a comment or a video response down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.